President Trump headed to Texas today for a Republican National Committee fundraiser for Senate nominee Ken Paxton. Paxton and his Democratic opponent, James Tallarico, very much neck and neck in the polls. A recent filing shows Tallarico has about $19 million more in his campaign account than does Paxton. CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe is in Houston. Ed, that's why the president appears to be coming to sort of get some more attention and more support for Ken Paxton and lend some financing support.
And it's the financing support, Major, that is most notable here. He obviously endorsed Paxton in that ugly primary earlier this year with Senator John Cornyn. But since then, there's been sort of one of those, you know, that Superman or Spider-Man meme where they're all pointing at each other in the room going, you do it. Nobody has agreed to give Paxton the millions he needs to push back on James Tallarico. So who better than the president, essentially officially holding a Republican National Committee event in a big political money capital, but primarily it's believed to benefit Ken Paxton, who is in desperate need of the cash, as the election forecasters again this week suggesting that the Texas Senate race is now a toss-up. We haven't seen that kind of political forecasting in this state since the late Reagan years. And so that gives you a sense of how concerned Republicans increasingly are about Paxton's chances against Tallarico. And it's having an effect on Governor Greg Abbott and his ability to hold out the Democrat Gina Hinojosa. They, too, now in a toss-up, according to election forecasters. We haven't seen that since Ann Richards was on the ballot back in the early 90s. So the president's here to do that tonight and stay overnight in a city he doesn't normally do that in. He usually stays at Trump-owned properties. There isn't one here in Houston. And then tomorrow he's at the Johnson Space Center to give out a special Congressional Space Award to the crew members of the Artemis mission who will join him for that.
Ed, let's talk about beef imports, ground beef imports. The president has opened the door to about 300,000 metric tons, as I understand it, and Texas cattlemen displeased.
Well, it's designed to drive down the cost of the beef you buy at the store, but it definitely has cattle ranchers stewed, if you will, not only here in Texas, but across the country, concerned that, once again, the president is doing something to the benefit of foreign beef producers, foreign cattle ranchers, and not instead either providing more assistance to America's cattle herd or picking on other elements of the grocery supply. As one rancher told me today, if you got issues with the cost of things, you should also be picking on the toothpaste guy, the toilet paper guy, the Doritos manufacturer, not just beef. But listen, in part to what Jake Parnell with the Livestock Marketing Association had to say about all this earlier.
It's the wrong way to artificially lower markets. It's wrong in the approach of food security, which is, ultimately national security. I know it sounds cliche, and it's wrong in helping the American rancher rebuild his cow herd and properly controlling that simple lesson of supply and demand.
As you mentioned, about 300,000 metric tons on top of the tens of millions produced in the states every year. This is just for 3 months, though. The price control expires just after the elections. Major?
What a coincidence. Ed O'Keefe, not a coincidence. Thank you very much.